Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Robin, can you hear me? Can anybody? I see big one here. Come on now. I guess nobody can hear me. How about here in a few minutes, I'm going to be going over to Allie's channel. And if you all want to chat, you can come over there. The link, I'll pin it up there. Let me go in here and pin it. I'm just streaming it over here so people know where we are. We are going to be over there chit-chatting, conspiracies, all kinds of stuff. Hey, Lace. I'm giving you your wrench back, Lacey. I took everybody's and I'm slowly giving them back. Well, it's not there anymore. I wonder why. The hell? It went away. Oh, hold on just a second. I'll share it again. I hate that how some comments disappear when the live starts. I hate that. It's going to be a few minutes though before we head over there, but yeah, we will be over there talking conspiracies and just whatever. Kind of like our Saturday night stream that we do every week, except for I'm not drinking this week. I've had a headache for 2 days, so but yeah, we're going to start every other one here and then Allie's. And if you're not getting a notification to anybody on YouTube, unsubscribe and resubscribe, and it will and make sure you have the notifications on to all, and it will kick it in and you'll start getting notifications again. It's really weird. Hey, Nikki Love. Just trying to. It'll be a few minutes and we'll go over there to Allie's. I'm going to stream it here too, though, but I'm not going to be chatting here. I won't be looking at this chat, so come over to Allie's. Everybody make sure you're subbed up to her. Where did that? Here we go. I'll put the link to the live too in chat. How's everybody been doing? I haven't really talked to anybody on here. I go live, but I've been doing my missing person one thingies. I'm gonna start doing that through the week. Every day I want to do summer still, and then on weekends I want to do different cases. Tomorrow I need, if anybody has a missing persons case, I prefer one that's a little older, like Summers, and let me know, and I'll put together a little thing and I'll run it. I want to get different ones going on the weekends. You know what I mean? And I'm still going to do summer though. Summer's every day through the week. The weekends I want to do different ones. It's the least I can do. I don't want to really cover true crime, like that. But I want to still be able. I ain't got much of a platform, but you never know. Just a second. I gotta go to Allie's live a second here. I gotta comment. She had to redo her mods and shit too. People be fucking funny. Fucking funny. Okay, there we go. It's going to be about 8 minutes. Well, no. Yeah, 7:45. She'll be there. A few more minutes. Trying to get this all set up here. About the Iran stuff, Lace, I really don't even want to discuss that, but I think it's pretty fucked up. They waited almost a year to do it. I don't know. I feel like Patty fucking probably was in their ear. I don't know. I think somebody had something to do with it. Because why wait a year then almost? Because it'll be, what, August 5th or 6th that she went missing. And yeah, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. And then all these motherfuckers out here want to use it for content. They always want to talk about somebody else. They ain't no fucking better, There's a lot of shit I want to say about some of these people on here, and I don't. I'm just going to get off of it. Sorry, Lace. It makes me mad. Because it's bullshit, in my opinion. Yep, because he has money, yep. I talked about her. I made some pretty fucking bad accusations, but I did say in my opinion, it is my opinion. And there's people that said a hell of a lot worse than Ron did. Yeah, people talking about it. Some of these people, man, they're tragedy pimps, pimping out the tragedy pimps. There's pimps, there's tragedy pimps. You ain't no fucking better than the ones you want to sit and talk about. Motherfuckers getting sued themselves and shit. It's like, seriously, didn't you learn your lesson? It is triggering as fuck, for real. And I don't know, not just because it's Ron, there's just a lot of bullshit behind it, in my opinion. Trying to get this set up here. Let's see, there we go. Look at Allie's car. I love it. It's like some of these people, it's like the more their channel grows, the more they become what everybody else, all the other pieces of shit are, in my opinion. It's why I don't monetize. I don't want to do none of that. I don't know. I'm not going to make money off of somebody else's misfortunes. I think that's pretty fucked up. I don't care who it is. Because every dog has their day. All these people, though, want to sit here and talk about Ryan now, and they don't realize they could be next. And some of them are already next and getting it, I mean, come on. I'm going to get off that subject because yeah. Trying to do better. Like I said, if there's a missing person's case, I prefer adults. I'll do children too because I'm just going to run it like I do Summer and like I did Andrea today. Just email me and I'll look up some pictures and get some missing posters and stuff. And I'm going to do Summer through the week, and then I'm going to do other cases during the weekend like I did today with Andrea. Just email me, let me know. People are just idiots. Lacey, nope, it ain't bad. And keep it real here. I not even long ago I was thinking about that, and I'm right there with you. I mean, ugh. Some people need to be fucking humbled, not Ryan. It ain't Ryan the one that fucking needs to be humbled. He's been through enough. These other motherfuckers. Sorry, makes me mad. Just 1 second. No, Lace, don't feel alone because literally I'm not joking. I thought about that today. And I hate that because there's a lot of people that I used to be close to and I loved and adored. And there's some people now I can't. I mean, I still care about them, but I just can't support that shit. I mean, I'm done some bad shit too, but hmm, I'm living and learning. I'm still yeah, living and learning. Oh, look, she must have gave me my moderatorship. Huh? Thank you, Allie Boo. She must be getting ready to come on. Okay, I am going to mute myself here and I'm going to get set up and to head over to Allie's. Y'all, please come over there. I need to get a banner, don't I? Come on, shit. Get a banner running so people know where we are. I'm probably going to mute this chat. What the fuck? Where'd my banner go? Are you fucking kidding me? Just 1 second. Fuck. Hey, Savannah, Mama. I love you too. Hope you're doing good. We're heading over to Allie's channel. So she starts. I'm going to mute myself here. There it goes.
Illiterate because I just had a full on conversation with myself for like 5 minutes before I realized that I did not hit the go live.
I am going to head over there, and I will see y'all over there.
Do everything. Hello, everyone. Hi, Truly, Robin, Lacey, Cotton. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Saturday. I feel like this is Saturday take two because all day Thursday I thought it was Friday. Um, did want to make a quick little announcement, kind of like Cotton's, where uh, the only two people that have wrenches right now are Truly and Cotton, just because of a lot of bullshit that goes on behind the scenes. And found out a lot of my friends were hidden it that I don't know who did it. So we might get them back out. We might not. Doesn't matter. My girls got them. Hey, Mickey. Oh, I think Cotton's going to come up in a little bit. I do have some videos that I want to show and talk about because um, we don't even have a name for her, but that motherfucker is not real girl. I feel like I need a better nickname than that for her. Um, like anyway, I'm still so like confused as to why we don't even have a name on her. So it just really bothers me that we don't know. Like we know what the guy on the Qantas flight, his name is. Like it just it. Anyway, so I have a couple videos on that. I do want to go ahead and drop Minutes of Horror's channel link because he deserves all this credit. He's the bomb. If y'all are not subbed to him, please go and sub up. He is the shit. Um, okay, Cotton, no worries. And he's really been what spearheaded like a lot of my curiosity into this, especially since there's one video you're going to see that has a guy, he's a Chinese flight, talking about hollow earth people. And I really believe that it could be true. It's really weird. Um, but yeah, and I will post um, the link if anyone would like to come up and talk conspiracies and chill and hang out. There we go. It's going to be super relaxed, so no pressure. Um, let's see. Hey, Savannah. I know I just shared this, but you know I do this again. All right. So I'm going to start it off with this video. Um, I really hope Minutes of Horror does not mind um, because he is the bomb. And I'll also post the video links in the chat too. Literally, worst time. Okay.
next video is rather disturbing. You are now within minutes of horror, and your only chances of survival is hitting that like button. With that being said, let's continue on with the video. Now, as I said in my previous video about the woman who freaked out on Ryanair, who says she saw the devil, I am noticing a pattern here that involved demons. On Tom Calling's flight, the British boxer who was tackled, you can hear him say they are demonic as he's being tackled. Some have heard him say that, including myself. On the woman on Ryanair, you hear her say, that person over there is the devil. She says she sees the devil. Now, I did notice something very odd about the American Airlines woman, the woman who said that MFer is not real. In the alternate angle footage where you can see her get up out of her seat where she is clearly scared, she does walk away and then turns around to tell whatever this is to stop it twice.
So what's going on? Stop it. Stop it. So I just want to bring up, does anybody think, like, I know the dude's story about speaking telepathically was a bullshit story, but who's to say it's not? So, like, maybe that's what she was saying to stop, or because you don't hear anybody yelling out to anybody. So I don't know what she would be telling them to stop doing.
And I can't help but wonder, looking at this outside of logic, was whatever she was sitting next to trying to either possess her or try to get into her head? Now, this actually does go hand in hand with two people who said they were on this flight and saw her talking to somebody, and this other person she was talking to was not talking back, but they were looking at her as if they were talking to her telepathically, because you see her away from her seat and she's telling this to stop it.
I was on that flight, and yeah, we need to get into this because that shit was crazy. So, I was sitting probably a few seats behind her.
I also feel like I have to take everybody's story now as fake until they can actually prove it, just because of the other two people or however many people that were on that plane and said they were on the plane and it turned out to be bullshit. Like, it's such a disinformation campaign, and it's like all we want to know is the truth. So I don't know. I'm just very confused about all of it.
And when I tell you that this woman was minding her business and was quiet the whole time, and she seemed like she was doing fine the whole time, like she was not drinking, she was actually just sitting there very content. Then out of nowhere, she kind of began to get a little irate. I seen her, and I noticed that she was speaking to a man or a gentleman that was wearing a hoodie who was like sitting across from her, and he wasn't speaking. He wasn't saying anything, but she was kind of like holding the whole conversation, and she was including him in the conversation, and he was not saying anything. And out of nowhere, she kind of got up and became very irate. And
that from this woman, she was sitting in the right aisle, and she had this very interesting exchange with some dude in a hoodie. What I remember is she was having like a full-blown conversation with this dude in the hoodie. I'll call him the hoodie guy. She was having a full-blown conversation with hoodie guy. The weird thing was that he never once said a fucking word to her the whole time. And at the time, I don't know, I wasn't really thinking about it, but it's like she would say something and he like would respond, but there was no exchange.
Like, if that's true, number one, I don't know how I would react if I was her, because I would be extremely unsettled and freaked out, and I probably would act a fool. And number two, the way the people are reacting, because they didn't hear an exchange between them, they just see some lady acting like she's off her rocker. Did they think that, I mean, that must be the logical explanation. She's off her rocker because heaven forbid we think outside the box and like maybe she has some sort of credence to what she's saying. So I don't know how I would react to her. I would probably flip out too and run away because it in my world would feel demonic and definitely uncanny valley, not real.
Change happening. It was just her getting more and more frantic, which, okay, if she's drunk and she's going crazy, then you would think the dude in the hoodie would have been like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? But he was just like dead locked on her, like deep eye contact with her. Like I don't want to feed into the conspiracies here, but like almost like she was like in a hypnosis type of thing. She didn't seem drunk to me, by the way. Just throwing that out there. I didn't see her drink. I mean, she seemed totally normal to me up until that point.
And now the theme of demons still continues here because we have another woman who had a freak out on her flight where even the media compared it to a scene from The Exorcist. Now, this did take place in 2020, and this isn't a woman saying she sees something, but she's clearly possessed. And she could clearly be possessed by drugs, taking drugs and it affecting her mind.
And let me just say, if there was somebody acting out like this woman is acting on a plane, I would be acting a lot more freaked out. Like these people almost seem like they are way too calm for this to be happening on an airplane in the sky. Like, it just blows my mind.
But like I said, we still have a theme playing here that we don't see on any other mode of transportation. And I scour the internet for any articles related to people seeing things that are not human on other modes of transportation or acting demonically possessed. All you see is the normal fights breaking out, people arguing. But you don't hear of anybody saying they see non human entities or acting like they're controlled by one. And here we have this woman who is acting like she's possessed by a demon. And if you were to put this clip in any movie that's related to exorcisms or demonic possessions, this would fit to the T. Now, I will go ahead and play this video, but I do want to warn if you are sensitive to strong language, graphic language.
So here's your trigger warning for this live. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I probably won't mention it again. Here you go.
Please do click off now. If not, I am going to play the video now.
Hello. Yes, Lacey, I definitely think she was under some substances.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I had to log. I don't know what I'm logged in on, but this ain't my normal StreamYard thing. I don't think because I could get up on yours.
I know. That's what I was just thinking. I was like, is she coming up? Because I didn't want to just put you up if you weren't ready.
I don't know what was wrong because I'm on my phone. I don't know what's wrong with it. I had to relog in on Safari and all kinds of shit.
That's weird.
Uh-huh.
And your picture changed. I was like, oh, look, we can't be doing no peen bombing.
Yeah, it's me, but I don't know what the hell happened. I guess I got 2 stream yards. I don't know.
Oh Lord.
Because I haven't used that picture in forever.
I was gonna say it looked different, and I was like, I'll wait for her
And
to say
Minutes of
something.
Horror, he won't care if we use his stuff. He loves us.
No, I just wanted to make sure. I was like, I'm gonna share the shit out of him because I know he just put another one up, and it's in my queue that I haven't watched yet. Most of these I've watched, and I'm
I
just like,
watched it, the one he just put up.
it blows my mind. Like, I don't like why. And everybody, like, people under my comment were like, well, why would they? Like, they're not going to give her information out. Like, look, we give statements out for the most irrelevant shit ever. So why would they not release a statement about the safety of their planes, of the people riding on their planes?
I agree.
I don't
If
get
you
it.
watch Minutes of Horror's video today, it's another theory.
Oh Lord. All right. Well, that's the last one on my thing. I think I have like the one with the hollow earth. I have a couple. I might skip to that one after this one then.
I love his channel.
I know. I love, like I told you, the pre-records now, they are perfect because they keep my attention span, and
You
it's
can
not
speed them
like,
up.
yes, I can speed them up. I don't have to like, especially even like lives that I don't even like chat in. For some reason, my squirrel brain wants to read the chats, and even though I don't even chat in them, like, and I
Right.
don't even listen. But yes, Savannah, you can ask us anything.
I still believe it's a demon or AI or something.
Well, it's just like, I know dude's story was BS, but like, what if it was? Like, what if somebody was really like messing with her mind? Like, I would freak out.
What,
Like,
that dude that you just played?
yes,
I kind of believe that story.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I know, like when he first posted it, he put like satire and like not true, like in the
But he
description
had
and
to.
stuff.
He had to use it for educational purposes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
What if, like, I don't, can you imagine
I
thinking you're
believe
having
it.
a conversation with someone, like verbally, like if me and you were talking, and then you come to realize that they're not talking to you verbally? I I would freak out.
Mm-hmm. You think the second one's demonic, Lacey? Could be. I think that dude was fucking with her though, because she kept telling him to stop and stop, and the dude never said a word.
Is he talking to her? And then it brings me back to like, is it like an AI type thing where like they program these AIs to mess with us, to make us seem like we're the crazy ones?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Savannah, we kind of talked about Ryan at the beginning of my live on my channel over there. I don't think we're going to get into that here. It's
We can. I wanted to do minutes before first while we were on it with him.
I get pissed off thinking about it and talking about it. So I don't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I don't want to look into it because like that, like it's gonna make me mad because I love Ryan.
Me and Lacey was talking about it earlier, and yeah, it's
Why
bullshit.
would you? Yeah, I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say because it'll.
Then you got all these fucking, like I said earlier, these tragedy pimps pimping the tragedy pimps out. It's like, what the fuck? Everybody always trying to make a dollar off somebody else's misfortune. The sideways blinking people, those are the
lizard people,
shapeshifters and stuff. Yeah, I kind of do believe in that stuff, man.
I do. You wouldn't catch me outside in like Appalachia after dark in the woods.
I grew up in Appalachia, and it's not that bad.
I mean,
watch out
like
for coyotes more than anything.
The like real. I don't know. There's some places I saw like when we were going through Cherokee and stuff that it's like no phone service, no way to call for help. Nope.
Like where I grew up, you couldn't even get cable TV because it's so out in the sticks. You know what I mean? And Yeah, no phone service. We had to have landlines.
That was how my grandma's house was. It was like they had dial up until my grandpa died in like 2011. Like they couldn't get anything else but dial up.
Mm-hmm. Lace, I've met some weird fucking people that shook my soul too, like that, and I absolutely believe in this shit. That's why I believe there's something demonic going on with these people, and something
Yes.
ain't right. Something ain't right.
I've always had this theory where, you know, like people have their internal monologue, like you talk to yourself in your head, and
Oh, I talk to myself all the time.
I do too. Like I run conversations through myself. Like I talk to myself
Mm-hmm.
and there are people out there that don't have an internal monologue. And I'm like,
When I
how
get
do you,
mad, I don't have one.
right? But you still like, they say like they don't hear themselves in their heads. And it blows my, like, I don't understand that either. Like, what do you mean you don't hear yourself in your head? Like, I think they're NPCs, like these like soulless people that don't have like, because I want to say I've only met like 2 people that were like that, but most of the people I talk to, they're like, yeah, I talk to myself in my head all the time. I
Yeah, I
sound
do.
way different in my head though than I do like when I talk. Yes, they do.
It's kind of like the black-eyed kids or whatever that Minutes of Horror done that thing on.
Mm-hmm.
The kids with black eyes, or their eyeballs are black. Like, yeah.
It's like they don't have anything but a pupil. I don't even think they have like the whites in their eyes.
No, it's all black.
But that was the other part I wanted to like go to after this was Hollow Earth, because I wish I could find the video that I originally saw it on, but basically there were some, I think it was like 2 adults and a couple of children that like just came up out of nowhere in like Northern Europe, maybe like maybe even Sweden or Norway, I can't remember. But they were like that. Like they were pale and they had the black eyes and they said they came from Hollow Earth and they were like just on a walk and they don't know how they ended up here with us.
I believe in that shit. I swear.
It's crazy. And if he's talking about he sees Hollow Earth and he's on a time loop. I'm like, don't tell me that. Mm-mm.
Lacey, I've never noticed nobody looking at the top of my head. Now I'm going to be looking at everybody I talk to. Be looking at my head. It's like they're trying to read your brain or something.
Oh, that's why you got to wear a tinfoil hat. Like a Faraday cage that can't get in. I swear.
And like that video you played with the lady climbing the seats in the plane and going off.
Yeah.
I believe she was possessed by something too. Because if you look at that video, it looks like there's a force or somebody holding her back and she's trying to get away from it, if you notice it.
Did you see the one where the other lady was screaming about the devil?
Yeah. And her husband just sat there.
Right. Like he was embarrassed.
Yeah.
If I was doing
think
that,
he
Julian,
felt like he believed her, and I don't know. Everything's just weird.
Sit the fuck down. Shut the fuck up. Do not embarrass me. Like,
I think she's got some demon in her, Lace. I don't think any of this was drugs. Or alcohol or none of that.
It really, I hate that people always jump to that. Like, oh, gotta be drugs or it's gotta be alcohol. Like, why? Why does it have to be that? Like, why is it hard for you to open your brain, your mind, instead of thinking in a box and being like, well, maybe she's not. Maybe she is.
I was looking in, I was Googling this shit, incidents that's happened on planes like this. And other than like these, the ones that I found was just like people fighting, having real beefs, like, and that's probably more alcohol and drug related than this shit here is. So I can see people getting fucked up in an airport bar or whatever, and then fighting on the plane, and they're going to fight people, not try to get off and all that. You know what I mean?
So, the boxer was trying to get in the cockpit.
Mm-hmm.
What if that's what happened on MH370? What if one of the passengers just lost their minds?
Is that the Malaysia plane?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that come up.
Like, what if
the Malaysia plane? Yeah.
Lost their mind and like they were trying to take this plane into another dimension or some crazy shit like that to get back to their timeline. I mean, it's just, there's so many unanswered questions.
I agree.
All right, I'm gonna play this one. A
That
couple
one
minutes
neat.
left.
I got it.
Trying to go home, bro.
She must have took some.
That's
That's right there. I don't know. What the fuck? Wait, we're not leaving out. Oh. She took some. She took that's some drugs. She took some. She was just fine in there, and she took some. Huh? Yeah, she was just sitting down in there just fine. She must have went to the bathroom and take something. And
Now, I did notice a few bizarre things in this video. One, throughout the video, it does sound like she does speak a demonic tongue at a couple points throughout the video. And two, you do hear passengers say, as this woman's being escorted off the flight, that she was fine. And the only conclusion they can come up with is that she went to the bathroom and took some drugs. Now, one can say this is mental illness, but all these people have something in common. Nobody is saying these people were freaking out at the airport. Nobody was saying these people were freaking out during boarding. It only happens while they're in the air or they're about to take off. Now, all these people who are seeing non-human entities or being possessed by them are being labeled crazy or mentally ill. But yet nobody's coming out saying they observed anything strange about these passengers prior to their flight. Now, I am not a doctor, so I cannot diagnose these people. I cannot say or can say these people are mentally ill. But as a paranormal channel, as a horror channel, as a channel that talks about theories, I do believe in demons. I have seen a demon. I have even discussed seeing Satan's face as a child. And that is one of the events that really motivated me starting this channel. So I have seen demons myself. So I do know they exist. And I do know the fear that they can give. The same fear that the woman on the American Airlines flight had. The same fear that the woman on the Ryanair had felt. And the same fear that Tom Cowling felt, the British boxer. I know what that fear feels like seeing a demon. Now, just like the woman on the American Airlines flight, we don't know this woman's name or what became of her or what actually happened to her because the story ends here. Now, what I find very odd is that there was a flight, a United Airlines flight in March of 2023, where this man threatened to end everybody's life on board. And then he stabs a flight attendant in the neck and tries to open the plane door. This happened in March. A couple days later, when articles came out, everybody knew this man's name. This man's name was Francisco Severo Torres, 33.
This morning, the FBI investigating reports of a terrifying mid-air attack on a flight from LA to Boston.
so where are they?
Yeah, like, where's the FBI? This happened on a domestic flight, on a domestic airline. Where's the FBI? I mean,
I agree. Where's anybody? Security? We ain't heard shit about none of this after, but this one here,
right. Any of the other ones, it's like they get arrested or you at least know their name. But
especially like
nope,
the British boxer. I know you can't open the door mid-flight, but he was wanting to open the damn doors and go to the cockpit. You know, it's like I would have went to jail.
If all of us would have went to jail, like
Mm-hmm.
we would be memed if it was one of us. Like worse
Yep.
than she is, but they'd know our names. Oh, thanks, 3-letter agencies.
Right. Yeah. All of them.
Where's Homeland Security? This video obtained by ABC News showing the 33-year-old suspect, Francisco Torres,
Now,
yelling from
while
a
his
60-year
situation was different, he was violent. These other people, the American Airlines woman who said that MFR is not real, and this woman who is acting possessed, were still disturbing the peace on a flight. And disturbing the peace on the flight is very serious. You will be detained. You will be arrested. And yet, we still know nothing of these people. The American Airlines woman, it has been well over a month, and we cannot even find a picture of her online. There are some that are saying she is Tiffany Gomez, but as I said previously, that really doesn't check out. Now, as I continue doing my research on these stories, it does seem like with these unique experiences, there are demons at play here. But I do want to know your thoughts. Are these people mentally ill? Are they taking drugs and having bad reactions to them? Or are we really seeing a pattern of demonic activity taking place in our skies, especially since the veil may be thinning even more with things like CERN? But again, I do.
Okay. Let me this one.
Is this the answer we have been looking for this whole time? You are now within minutes of horror, and your only chances of survival is hitting that like
Oh, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna buffer.
button. With that being said, let's continue on with the video. Now, when I make these videos about people who are freaking out on their flights, really any theory fits, whether it is mental illness, drugs, the paranormal, ghosts, aliens, AI. You can really do a deep dive, and any theory, like I said, fits. So even making this video here, this is still a theory. Do I believe these people saw something? Yes, I do. Do I believe in demons? Yes, I do. But we can't toss aside really any theory. And one of the theories I do want to discuss is it possible that the airlines themselves are in on this? Now, I was tagged in this video by someone who has subscribed to me. I don't want to give them a shout out because I do not know how they feel about their name being mentioned. But if they do want to be mentioned, I will go ahead and give them a shout out on the comment below. This is not my video. I did not find this. They found this. And this is a news clip on YouTube, a CBS News article, Transportation Department investigating airlines, unrealistic scheduling after flight delays. And the premise is that the airlines are very overwhelmed and that there are massive delays due to a shortage of pilots, mechanics, and air traffic controllers.
So I have heard about them being short-staffed, especially pilots, due to the I don't know if it was necessarily due to like reactions of the jab or like them not wanting to take it. But I have heard about like, we all thought flights were really shitty to begin with, but now they're even worse because like after COVID.
I don't believe that's what's going on here. I believe it's the
But
demons.
it's I don't I guess I haven't seen this one. I don't think it would be an inside job.
I don't either. Because that girl looked literally shook. It's like, no. Well, hi, Kool-Aid. We need to stop watching it. We'll watch whatever we want. If you don't want to hear us, then you can run along. People like
Yeah.
you taint my brain, so.
I watch what I want. Only time I'll have a tainted brain is when I quit watching my conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the Kool-Aid. All right.
June 24th to 27th, airlines delayed 32,000 flights, canceled 6,300 outright, impacting as many as 500,000 passengers.
Like, what is happening? Somebody tell me what's going on.
What's disconcerting is this may just be the beginning. Our investigation found that the shortage of pilots, mechanics, and air traffic controllers could cause delays and backups for years. We analyzed data that shows the industry is short 17,000 pilots, 12,000 aviation mechanics, and 3,000 air traffic controllers.
My flight was not canceled due to weather. My flight was canceled because they did not have enough crew.
Airlines frequently blame.
It's muted on his side. It's not your side. He'll talk in a minute.
Oh, I was about to say, did I just lose that?
I done the same thing earlier. Yeah, it's his side.
And yes, Savannah, I absolutely do.
I do too. I believe in them.
There's some things that just don't have explanation, so they get the spirit category.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to the woman who said that MFer is not real, the American Airlines woman, a lot of people have pointed out her hand sign by saying she is throwing up the sign of the Baphomet, or she looks like she could be an air stewardess herself, someone who works in the airlines. And if we are going to go with the theory that the airlines are in on this, it is possible they had her wear a mask to conceal her true identity. That's why nobody knows who this woman is. I mean, outside of rumors that this woman is a Tiffany Gomas or a Jenna Wilson or this other actress, these are just rumors. Nobody really knows who this woman is. So it would make sense in a way that she's concealing her true identity. And if she was not detained by the airlines, if she was not arrested, then that speaks volumes that there are other players here that were involved, that this could have been an inside job.
36 attorneys general asked that Buttigieg force airlines to advertise and sell only flights they have adequate personnel to fly and support. U.S. senators wrote to the CEOs of major airlines last summer, saying roughly 40% of the delays were apparently due to circumstances within the airline's control, the highest figure in over a decade. Should you be telling airlines to stop making promises they can't keep?
Well, we're not just saying it, we're enforcing it. If an airline is knowingly flying an unrealistic schedule, there are going to be consequences.
Do you need to do more?
We are holding the airlines accountable for anything under their control. So we're not going to slap a fine on them because they got hit with bad weather. But if they're running a schedule that they can't service because they don't have the staff to do it, we're going to hold them accountable for that. We're investigating a number of airlines right now over their scheduling practices.
This woman works for the airlines and was told by the airline.
That statement, I know it has nothing to do with this. I mean, it has something to do with his theory, but I'm sorry. You're going to find these companies because of not being able to find workers. That sounds absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't believe this theory. That's why I said I didn't believe it.
I do think, like Lacey said, like I think they're like leading up to something. Like I don't know if it's something in the air, like she said, or like Project Bluebeam, where they're like going to stage an alien attack. I feel like something's going to happen. Like this is just the tip. tip of the iceberg. Hey, truly. Oh,
True.
hey.
Airlines to have this freak out to say this person's not real to perhaps scare people from flying. Because I do know a couple of people personally that are saying they do not want to get on a plane anymore due to this incident. I mean, if the airlines are very overwhelmed and they just can't hire the people to alleviate these issues, what's the next best thing? Then to stop people from flying. Now, I'm sure not everybody's going to stop flying. Even I had to fly after all the videos I made. But like I said, I am sure there are some people that are done with flying altogether after these events took place. There's even an alternate angle where you can see her going to first class, and she either taps or squeezes the attendant's arm as she's going by. Now, I could be looking too far into it. She could just be holding on to her as she goes by, but still, you never know. And this is just another theory. But this theory does make a lot of sense. And let's not act like inside jobs do not exist for the betterment of a corporation. But what do you think? I do want to hear from you. Do you believe this is just mental illness again? Somebody's taking drugs and it did not work out for them? Did they see something like a demon or paranormal? Or perhaps could we be looking at an inside job from the airlines to alleviate their stress issues? In any case, like I said, I do want to hear from you. Please comment below. But if you do like this channel and you do want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like.
I totally believe in Project Bluebeam. They're doing something.
I don't know a whole lot about it.
Ooh, okay. Let me see if I can find a quick one. Hold on. Let me stop that for a second. Y'all don't need to know my search history. All of them want to be like Blue Book, and it's not the same. It's so like Project Bluebeam is where it's basically like an astral projection of UFOs. Yes, it's. But everything that is coming up on YouTube is Project Blue Book, which they've already said that is real. All right, here's one that's kind of short.
Mainstream media usually presents UFO news as fringe stories for weirdos, but the media has gone UFO mad in the past week, reporting on sightings and events as serious news events. Given that we know mainstream media takes orders from the global elite, and any shift in the narrative must be viewed with deep suspicion, the question must be asked, why have the media changed their narrative so dramatically? According to a World Economic Forum insider, it's yet another case of so-called conspiracy theorists being one step ahead of the rest of the world. But before we explain what the UFO sightings are really about, please subscribe to The People's Voice if you appreciate our content, and feel free to latest and greatest mass con. Always in the vanguard of the globalist agenda, CNN have been dedicated an unprecedented number of minutes per day to UFO news.
Interesting. This is kind of unusual that these pilots saw different things, and that is sort of, I guess, adding to the mystery of all this.
Yeah, not even the pilots apparently were really able to identify what they saw. And just to take you back for a sec, On Thursday, the U.S. defense officials sent F-35 fighter jets up to try to figure out what this object was that was flying around near Alaska. Those pilots, we have learned, have given very conflicting accounts of what they actually experienced, with some pilots saying that.
So it's like they're projecting things like we're in a globe. But with all the crazy like AI stuff, I really wouldn't put it past them. Like, put us in a movie and it'll be like Men in Black. I mean, they've been preparing for this for how many years?
The object interfered with the plane's sensors, other pilots saying that they didn't really experience that, other pilots saying that when they looked at the object, they could identify no identifiable propulsion system, and they did not know how it was actually staying in the air, cruising at that altitude of about 40,000 feet. So this is all added to the Pentagon's wariness of describing in more detail what this object actually is until they can get more information through the debris.
In recent days, we've had reports of UFOs all over the world. On February the 2nd, the Chinese balloon was spotted, and on February the 4th, it was shot down. Then, 6 days later, a UFO was shot down over Alaska.
Footage of the UFO shot down over Alaska.
Break one, blast one.
Could we have shot down an extraterrestrial craft?
And the very next day, on February the 11th, a UFO was shot down over Canada. And in recent days, we've had UFOs appear all over China and Uruguay. And then Montana's airspace was closed for DoD activities. On February the 12th, a UFO was shot down over Lake Huron. While the mainstream media has only just started taking these events seriously and conditioning the masses, it's no secret that world governments have been taking these events very seriously for years. Whether they are trying to make psychic spies or track unidentified flying objects, governments have a history of trying to hunt down the truth behind the bizarre sightings and events reported each year. But according to two well-placed sources, these recent events are more than just cover-up attempts. The world government is planning a supernatural events of its own. According to reputable sources, the government are going to fake a global alien invasion in the year 2024 in order to usher in a one-world government. Here's where it gets really interesting. In his 1994 book, Project Bluebeam, investigative journalist Serge Monost writes that the United Nations, NASA, and other government agencies have been working in secret since 1983 on a top-secret operation called Project Bluebeam. The purpose? To pave the way for a global government by fooling people into thinking it's the end of the world. Here's how it works according to Mr. Monost. First, the global elites will fake an alien invasion, convincing the world that aliens are planning to take over major cities across the globe. Second, religious populations will be treated to a rapture or fulfillment of their religion's prophecies. This will all be fake, conducted through the use of large-scale holograms and microchips hidden within most modern electronics.
In 2024, a global event will alter the course of mankind's future. The world will stand witness to a massive alien invasion. Thousands of projected holographic alien warships will blanket the skies, sending people into a global panic. Real military crafts within the holograms will inflict that.
Y'all, if this happens, I will cam up and we will live stream this together.
Actual damage to the surrounding areas to cell beginning.
Once the various nations of the world topple under the mass of civil unrest and panic, the New World Order will assert itself, and the people of the world, desperate for any sort of authority, will accept its rule. The notorious globalist Henry Kissinger let the cat out of the bag about the plan in the late 70s. Kissinger, who is Klaus Schwab's mentor, explained in clear terms how the globalists will convince Americans to accept the New World Order. He wrote, "Today, Americans will be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told that there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all the peoples of the world will pledge with world leaders to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by their world governments." Kissinger wasn't the only insider in the late 70s speaking about how the elite will attempt to hijack humanity and brute force a world government upon them. Werner von Braun, the German and US aerospace engineer who worked on Operation Paperclip, confessed on his deathbed in 1977 that the global elites were planning to use terrorists and pandemics as false flags to manipulate and control the masses. Even more interestingly, von Braun said that the final false flag will be a fake alien invasion. The global elites engineered a crisis with the COVID pandemic to erode the sovereignty of nations and terrify the masses into compliance, and they half succeeded. But as anyone who has been paying attention to the disturbing rhetoric coming out of Davos recently will know, the global elite are not done with us yet. It appears that COVID was the dress rehearsal and they have an even greater con up their sleeves. So what should we be doing to stay alert and ensure they don't get away with the plan? Mr. Monast provided details about exactly how the global elite will perpetrate the con. He stated that NASA will use...
Can we talk about the nightmares that picture is now going to cause all of us? I should have trigger warned before this. Had I known that they were going to show her, I would have trigger warning this video, not the other one. That's what happens when you don't have your, I guess it would be like EpiPen on steroids.
Low
My damn phone's going in and out. I can't
magnetic
hear
wave.
shit.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm
Is
gonna
it
jump
me?
down for
Is
a
it my
few
internet?
minutes. No, I think it's mine because I had trouble coming up. I'm gonna jump down and I might jump back up and see if I can fix it.
Okay. Thank you for coming up for a little bit. If you can, it's all right.
Because I'm on my phone. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Look, I do the
I'll be
same
back.
thing. Remember, I kicked myself 3 times the other night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
Love you.
To communicate telepathically and that the New World Order will phase out cash. At the time, skeptics had several issues with this conspiracy theory. First and foremost, the technology required to inundate the world with realistic visions of aliens and messiahs simply didn't exist in the early 1990s. But fast forward to our present age and all of the futuristic tech that Mr. Monast spoke about has been rolled out by the elites in recent years. There is no doubt that the global elite have the technology to pull off the con. We do know that the US government briefly entertained the idea of using a hologram during the Iraq War. US Air Force planners brainstorming on the best way to achieve a bloodless coup in Iraq proposed creating a giant hologram that would appear to be Allah commanding Iraqis to overthrow Saddam Hussein. This plan was never implemented, but the fact it was even considered at such a high level proves that the technology exists. Microchips, holograms, electromagnetic waves for telepathic communication. It's uncanny how everything Monast wrote about in 1994 has been rolled out by the World Economic Forum in the last couple of years. Skeptics at the time also questioned whether governments across the world could really cooperate and coordinate closely enough to pull off this mass con. But again, everything Monast wrote about in his book has come to pass. The World Economic Forum has penetrated governments all over the world, placing its own people in the highest offices in the land, in Canada, New Zealand, France, and Brazil, to name just a few countries.
So that we penetrate the cabinet. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
In 2023, there is no question that governments across the world could coordinate closely enough to pull off a mass con. We've already seen it happen with the COVID pandemic. The global elite had governments and mainstream media singing from the same hymn sheet. Mr. Monast was said to be writing a new book with bombshell further information regarding government plans for Project Bluebeam. However, he was found dead in 1996. The official cause of death was listed as a heart attack. Are you interested in reaching a large and growing audience?
I also find it interesting that everyone that comes out with information, they all die at a young age, usually due to a heart attack. I just don't know how common that is. I feel like it's not. But who am I to say? So let's see. I want to show this one on Hollow Earth. and Admiral Byrd. Let's see. You thought COVID under Trump would make Biden look. Nope, it doesn't. Everybody's argument when it comes to Trump is like, well, he created the vaccine, right? But he never mandated it, never, ever forced anybody. He never wanted mandates. If he was such a draconian leader, he would have forced everybody to get this amazing vaccine that he created. And he didn't. He left it up to the people. And I really don't believe that everyone got a true dose of that. That's my opinion, not a medical professional, just my own thoughts and opinions. An Obama chef. Also, one of Hillary and Bill's chefs died under mysterious circumstances too. So I guess that's another occupation we should not do. Like, don't become a White House chef under a Democrat. So Admiral Byrd talks about flat and hollow Earth. I don't know if you've all have ever explored any of his stuff. I've watched a couple things. I know Kate Awakening on Badlands watches them a lot, but let's check it out.
How to escape the heat if you don't have an air conditioner. This only takes 5 minutes.
Exploring the hollow earth theory, from Jules Verne to Admiral Byrd and beyond, the concept of a hollow earth with civilizations hidden within its depths has captivated the human imagination for centuries. While Jules Verne's classic novel Journey to the Center of the Earth is often cited as a popular early example of this idea, it was Admiral Richard E. Byrd's theory about hollow earth that has gained attention in modern times. Admiral Byrd, a renowned American naval officer and explorer, built his theory on the facts offered by earlier theorists, astronomers, astrologers, physicists, and mathematicians, including famous figures like Halley of Halley's Comet fame. He believed that the Earth's surface is just a shell, and that there are vast inner regions within the Earth that are habitable and may even contain advanced civilizations. Admiral Byrd's theory has been met with skepticism.
Lacey, I am so conflicted. I have grown up a globe earther my whole life. I thought flat earthers were crazy. And over the last 2 years, I have learned so much that I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't think it's round, but I don't know if it's, I just think there's more to it. I think it's crazy that we know more about the surface of Mars and all of these planets than we do about, number one, our own oceans, and number two, like what lies beneath, like just the crust of our Earth. Like we don't know anything about the center of our Earth. So it's just, I don't know what to believe anymore. Like you could tell me that it was hollow and flat at the same time, and I might even believe that.
By the scientific community, and there is no credible scientific evidence to support the existence of a hollow Earth. However, proponents of the theory argue that organizations like NASA and the United States government, among others, are actively suppressing the truth and keeping the poles clear of expeditions to the inner Earth. There are also stories and speculations about people escaping the surface world and finding refuge in the inner Earth, including theories about Adolf Hitler disappearing into the hollow Earth after World War II. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the concept of a hollow Earth continues to be popular among conspiracy theorists and those who seek to unravel the mysteries of our planet. In conclusion, from Jules Verne's fictional tales to Admiral Byrd's controversial theory, The concept of a hollow earth has persisted throughout history. While lacking scientific support, it continues to capture the imagination of some who speculate about hidden civilizations and unexplored realms within our planet. However, it is important to approach such theories with critical thinking, rely on credible scientific evidence, and separate fact from fiction. Admiral Richard E. Byrd was a notable American naval.
Isn't it due to like the St. Valentine's Day or like the massacre or something like that, Lacey? Like it's not about this lovey-dovey, like give chocolate to your significant other type day. I feel like it has like an extremely dark, dark history. This one's a little slow. Let me see if this one's a little bit more speed. Yeah, I don't get Valentine's Day. It's never been like a, I don't know, big day for me. Oh, that's lovely. It's like, so we beat you and now here's some chocolate. Chocolate fixes everything. Oh, these holidays crack me up. Okay. I don't think this one's too long either. Fucking ads.
1947, the land beyond the poles, the exploration flight over the North Pole, the inner Earth, my secret diary. I must write this diary in secrecy and obscurity. It concerns my Arctic flight of the 19th day of February in the year of 1947. There comes a time when the rationality of men must fade into insignificance, and one must accept the inevitability of the truth. I am not at liberty to disclose the following documentation at this writing. Perhaps it shall never see the light of public scrutiny, but I must do my duty and record here for all to read one day. In a world of greed and exploitation of certain of mankind, one can no longer suppress that which is truth. Flight log, Base Camp Arctic. February 19th, 1947. 0600 hours. All preparations are complete for our flight northward, and we are airborne with full fuel tanks at 0610 hours. 0910 hours. Vast ice and snow below. 0915 hours. In the distance is what appears to be mountains. 1000 hours. We are crossing over the small mountain range and still proceeding northward as best as can be ascertained. Beyond the mountain range is what appears to be a valley with a small river or stream running through the center portion. There should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To the port side are great forests growing on the mountain slopes. Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is oscillating back and forth. 10:05 hours. I alter altitude to 1400 feet and execute a sharp left turn to better examine the valley below. It is green with either moss or a type of tight-knit grass. The light here seems different. I cannot see the sun anymore. We make another left turn and we spot what seems to be a large animal of some kind below us. It appears to be an elephant. No, it looks more like a mammoth. This is incredible, yet there it is. Decrease altitude to 1,000 feet and take binoculars to better examine the animal. It is confirmed. It is definite.
So, Lacey, one of our friends is actually in Antarctica right now doing for DoD contracting. So I have a lot of questions for him when he gets back.
A mammoth-like animal. Report this to base camp. 10:30 hours. The external temperature indicator reads 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Continuing on our heading now. Navigation instruments seem normal now. I am puzzled over their actions. Attempt to contact base camp. Radio is not functioning. 11:30 hours. Countryside below is more level and normal, if I may use that word. Ahead we spot what seems to be a city. This is impossible. Aircraft seems light and oddly buoyant. The controls refuse to respond. My God, off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. They are closing rapidly alongside. They are disc-shaped and have a radiant quality to them. They're close enough now to see the markings on them. It is a type of swastika. This is fantastic. Where are we? What has happened? I tug at the controls again.
Also, I'm just going to say, I don't necessarily agree with everything said in this video, like what that was previously mentioned.
They will not respond. We are caught in an invisible vice grip of some type. 11:35 hours. Our radio crackles and a voice comes through in English with what perhaps is a slight Nordic or Germanic accent. The message is, "Welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral. You're in good hands." I note the engines of our plane have stopped running. The aircraft is under some strange control and is now turning itself. The controls are useless. 11:40 hours. Another radio message received. We begin the landing process now, and in moments the plane shudders slightly and begins a descent as though caught in some great unseen elevator. The downward motion is negligible, and we touch down with only a slight jolt. 11:45 hours. I am making a hasty last entry in the flight log. Several men are approaching on foot toward our aircraft. They are tall with blonde hair. In the distance is a large shimmering city, pulsating with rainbow hues of color. I do not know what's going to happen now, but I see no signs of weapons on those approaching. I hear now a voice ordering me by name to open the cargo door. I comply. End log. From this point, I write all the following events here from memory. It defies the imagination. It would seem all but madness if it had not happened. The radio man and I are taken from the aircraft, and we are received in a most cordial manner. We were then boarded on a small platform-like conveyance with no wheels. It moves us toward the glowing city with great swiftness. As we approach, the city seems to be made of a crystal material. Soon, we arrive at a large building that is a type I have never seen before. It appears to be right out of the design board of Frank Lloyd Wright, or perhaps more correctly, out of a Buck Rogers setting. We are given some type of warm beverage which tasted like nothing I have ever savored before. It is delicious. After about 10 minutes, two of our wondrous appearing hosts come to our quarters and announce that I am to accompany them. I have no choice but to comply. I leave my radio man behind, and we walk a short distance and enter into what seems to be an elevator. We descend downward for some moments, and the machine stops, and the door lifts silently upward. We then proceed down a long hallway that is lit by rose-colored light that seems to be emanating from the very walls themselves. One of the beings motions for us to stop before a great door. Over the door is an inscription that I cannot read. The great door slides noiselessly open, and I am beckoned to enter. One of my hosts speaks. "Have no fear, Admiral. You are to have an audience with the master." I step inside, and my eyes adjust to the beautiful coloration that seems to be filling the room completely. Then I begin to see my surroundings. What greeted my eyes is the most beautiful sight of my entire existence. It is, in fact, too beautiful and wondrous to describe. It is exquisite and delicate. I do not think there exists a human term that can describe it in any detail with justice. My thoughts are interrupted in a cordial manner by a warm, rich voice of melodious quality. "I bid you welcome to our domain, Admiral." I see a man with delicate features and with the etching of years upon his face. He is seated at a long table. He motions me to sit down at one of the chairs. After I am seated, he places his fingertips together and smiles. He speaks softly again and conveys the following. "We have let you enter here because you are of noble character and well known on the surface world." "Surface world," I half gasp under my breath. "Yes," the master replies with a smile. "You are in the domain of the Ariani, the inner world of the earth. We shall not long delay your mission, and you will be safely escorted back to the surface and for a distance beyond. But now, Admiral, I shall tell you why you have been summoned here. Our interest rightly begins just after your race exploded the first atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. It was at that alarming time we sent our flying machines, the Flugerods, to your surface world to investigate what your race had done. That is, of course, past history now, my dear Admiral, but I must continue on. You see, we atomic energy. Our emissaries have already delivered messages to the powers of your world, and yet they do not heed. Now you have been chosen to be witness here that our world does exist. You see, our culture and science is many thousands of years.
Whether it means aliens are true or not, but everywhere they've been seen have been around atomic nuclear bomb sites, other than this. But then this still relates to the nuclear bomb sites, like Roswell, New Mexico, Los Alamos, I guess Nevada and New Mexico area. So does that mean they're connected to the atomic energy, or does the atomic energy create them?
Is beyond your race, Admiral. I interrupted, but what does this have to do with me, sir? The Master's eyes seemed to penetrate deeply into my mind, and after studying me for a few moments, he replied, "Your race has now reached the point of no return. For there are those among you who would destroy your very world, rather than relinquish their power as they know it." I nodded, and the Master continued. In 1945 and afterward, we tried to contact your race, but our efforts were met with hostility. Our Fluger rods were fired upon, yes, even pursued with malice and animosity by your fighter planes. So, now I say to you, my son, there is a great storm gathering in your world, a black fury that will not spend itself for many years. There will be no answer in your arms. There will be no safety in your science. It may rage on until every flower of your culture is trampled, and all human things are leveled in vast chaos. Your recent war was only a prelude of what is yet to come for your race. We here see it more clearly with each hour. Do you say I'm mistaken? No, I answer. It happened once before. The Dark Ages came and they lasted for more than 500 years. Yes, my son, replied the Master. The Dark Ages that will come now for your race will cover the earth like a pall. But I believe that some of your race will live through the storm. Beyond that, I cannot say. We see at a great distance a new world stirring from the ruins of your race, seeking its lost and legendary treasures. And they will be here, my son, safe in our keeping. When that time arrives, we shall come forward again to help revive your culture and your race. Perhaps by then, you will have learned the futility of war and its strife. And after that time, certain of your culture and science will be returned for your race to begin anew. You, my son, are to return to the surface world with this message. With these closing words, our meeting seemed at an end. I stood for a moment as in a dream, but yet I knew this was reality, and for some strange reason I bowed slightly, either out of respect or humility. I do not know which. Suddenly I was again aware that the two beautiful hosts who had brought me here were again at my side. "This way, Admiral," motioned one. I turned once more before leaving and looked back toward the Master. A gentle smile was etched on his delicate and ancient face. "Farewell, my son," he spoke. Then he gestured with a lovely, slender hand motion of peace, and our meeting was truly ended.
All right. That's pretty much all I have for tonight. I've got some homework. I'm gonna see if I can find the video about the trip to the Hollow Earth, or the kids and people that came out of the Hollow Earth, because I really want to talk about that, more about that. And yeah, Lacey, I don't want to encounter one either. That would terrify me. Nope. I know there's some people out there who want alien encounters, but nope, not for me. So I'm going to set up a live if y'all want to join me next time about the Hollow Earth kids. And we'll talk about probably more Blue Beam, maybe some Blue Book. But yeah, thank y'all for joining me, and thanks Cotton for coming up. And I will see y'all next time. Have a great Saturday. You too, Savannah. Love y'all. Bye.
All right, and I'm going to end this. You all have a good night. Bye.